In today's video, we're going to be doing an entire kind of just look at the upcoming pattern, taking a look at both the European and the GFS American models through the next 10 to 15 days as we dive through multiple cold fronts and a singular nor'easter. Look at it kind of like a right hook, uppercut, right hook again is kind of how I would describe the upcoming pattern. So let's dive into things. And as we take a look at tomorrow on Tuesday, the 27th, we already see these things shaping together as we have some broad low pressure across the plains in through the upper Midwest. This low to the north is a 987, the southern one being a 990 secondary low. And these are working in tandem. We see snowfall to the west and north of these low pressure systems, extending from Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, in through Minnesota, Iowa, and surrounding areas. We even see some of the northern Rockies getting in on some snow showers due to all of this. We do have some showers across kind of the mid-Atlantic, Ohio Valley, and portions of the southeast here as well with this ridge. The overall jet stream pattern is a trough in the west, ridge in the east, which is what we've been expecting for the post 25th time frame. And sure enough, this is what we're seeing, is something along the lines of what we've been predicting for weeks now. And as we move towards Wednesday, this kind of pattern only gets really more progressive. We see this trough is already moving eastward towards the central states. That ridge is really surging northward here, and we have a strong 979 millibar low pressure center up there in Canada, followed by a low in the 990s to the south. And what we see is a long, extending cold front down from Canada all the way through the northeast, Ohio Valley, and into the deeper south here. And this is what I expect to be the first round of potential severe weather of the upcoming pattern, and the first of about 3 or 4 of those potential threats. So keep that in mind. Whenever we see the surging warmth moving northward up the coast, it's going to be very, very windy, by the way, along this eastern area. But we also have this cold front swinging through from the west. So this cold wind is going to hit this northerly wind from the side. And what can happen is this northerly wind is strong heading towards the north, and this wind hitting it from the west will cause this kind of twirling effect along it, more horizontally in nature though. And what this allows for is any downdrafts that happen in these intense thunderstorms can push that rotation down to where it turns vertical, and that is how you get tornadoes. So what we're looking at here is a representation of the shear that is going to be very, very strong and present in this event. So I expect tornadoes and wind damage to be at the forefront of these severe weather threats. And to be transparent with you guys, during these winter severe weather events, that is the most common effects typically, is tornadoes and damaging wind. Hail is a little bit more rare, but not unheard of during the winter time. So certainly that could be a factor as well. But usually you see tornadoes and damaging wind being the main concern during these types of events. As we reach towards the overnight hours, Wednesday into Thursday, this will be approximately 2 a.m. We see this is now reaching the eastern seaboard for most areas, and will be moved out already by the time we're taking a look at Thursday during the day. So let's just skip straight towards then. And by Thursday afternoon, we see a cooler day here in the west, or in the east, better yet. So generally cooler than normal out here, and generally warmer than normal for most of the west, except for the northwest, where we already have another trough digging down. And what this is going to do is it's going to cause a major trough in the west and major ridge in the east once again. So we are going to see this very progressive pattern that is flipping back and forth between ridges and troughs for both the western, central, and eastern states. Let's move it towards Friday, and we already see these things taking shape as this trough is digging deeper for the west, and this ridge is already taking shape, especially in the central states, but we already are seeing it start to cause impacts in the east as well. Not as much as the central states yet, but it will get there. We also see heavy, heavy snowfall with numerous low pressure systems out west, as they are going to see a plethora of activity during the upcoming days. By the time we reach Saturday on March 2nd, we get this kind of nor'easter look where we have the warmer temperatures, but we have moisture moving up the coast. So the cold front that we just saw was that right hook I was talking about. Now, this potential nor'easter is what I would look at as an uppercut in the system. And then we're going to see another cold front after this, as I've hinted towards. So let's play it through, and we start to see that develop by the time we're taking a look at about Monday on the 4th of March here. So about a 988 here in northern Minnesota. Cold front once again. So again, that right hook coming through. And what we see overall for the jet stream is very intense. So we have a deep digging trough for the west and some of the central states, but it goes inverted towards Canada. And then that ridge is present throughout most of the east, where we have basically a cold front extending southward of this low, a warm front extending way north in Canada here, which is allowing for the wind once again to move really rapidly from south to north. And that cold air is moving in from west to east for a lot of these areas, hitting it from the side once again. So again, tornadoes and damaging wind I expect to be pretty much at the forefront of this event. Even some snowfall up there in the upper Midwest as well. By the time we reach Tuesday afternoon here, and that's going to be on March 5th, we see this low pressure system is way up in the north as a 969 for pretty much, I'd say, central Canada, but we still have this extending cold front down through a lot of the Ohio Valley and deeper south states, where again, thunderstorms and severe weather will probably be a factor here. This is a little bit more into the extended range, but I do suspect that that is going to be the case, reaching the eastern seaboard by about Wednesday afternoon on March 6th here. So again, a 998 here, cold front extending southward there. And what we're seeing is thunderstorm and severe weather activity being possible for the eastern seaboard. Likely after this, we're going to see another brief cool down, but once again, we have a trough moving into the west, which is likely going to mean a ridge is going to build in the east again. And then who knows, maybe after the 7th here, this is the end of the model run, of course, but perhaps after this, we're going to see another cold front form, the trough move from the west to the east once again, as the pattern tends to recycle here, as you can tell from this video. Now, the GFS model, we get a little bit more of an extended range. I want to show you here real briefly, but we do see that cold front come through. So the right hook, the nor'easter there with the uppercut, another cold front right around that 6th, 7th time frame. So another right hook. But what we see happen here on this GFS model is by the time we are reaching the 10th or so, we get another pretty strong low over the Great Lakes, another cold front in the eastern states. So on this GFS model, we get a right hook, uppercut, and then a double right hook here, as it has another cold front moving through in the 15-day pattern. And then what we're left with is a quieter pattern with a minor trough in the west with a more prevalent one present here in the east. That is the overall theme I'm getting here from this GFS American model. Now, as we take a look at the total precipitation, no surprise that we get tons of activity in the west as we see multiple lows move on shore. And then we also, on the other hand, get a lot of precipitation throughout the eastern, I would say, 4th of the nation here, from the Ohio Valley and deep south eastward, as we have those cold fronts moving through numerously, and also a couple, or at least a single nor'easter moving through those eastern states. All of that is going to help to aid this precipitation to be well above average. Now, the total snowfall in the European model, no surprise that we have a ton out west and almost none in the east, unless you're very, very close to that Canadian border here. You are expecting pretty much no snowfall outside of that area. The GFS model, on the other hand, we do get the enormous amounts out west, so an above average amount of snowfall there. We get a little bit more snowfall dipping further south here in the east, as this model on these cold fronts tends to show some snowfall mixing in behind it for a lot of these areas. I've talked about this before, but likely in these cold front type scenarios, I wouldn't expect much accumulating snowfall, as these usually are following up warmer temperatures and likely heavy rainfall. So what this snow would be falling into would be very warm ground temperatures that is saturated by heavy rainfall. Not very ideal for accumulation. That's not to say that accumulation is impossible, but the odds are not in the favor of accumulation is what I'd say, and that's how I would put it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe, as we do upload every single day for the most part. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.